Hi everybody, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Juan. I am just one reader and I am here with my TBR for the month of July. So I know that making TBRs is something that some people love and some people just don't get. Some people just read whatever they want. They pick books up on a whim and that's perfectly fine. Actually, I used to be that kind of a reader until very recently. I have found myself with more obligations and with more things on my plate. I am busier and busier and busier, and I am always in a constant struggle to read. To finding the time to read all the books that I want to read for pleasure, because I do read a lot of academic texts for school and for other things. So I am always trying to manage my extra available time so that I can read all the books that I would like to read for pleasure. So that's why making TBRs works really well for me. And also something that I've learned this year in particular is that making TBRs has to be something realistic, and you have to really take into consideration what your month is going to be like. If you know you're going to be traveling or doing a lot of work, or you're going to have a special kind of work crisis or a work moment in which you will not be able to read as much, then you just plan accordingly and that's it. So in July, I will be spending 1 week in New York. I'm going on vacation to New York City. So if you guys have any recommendations or suggestions or ideas of things that I could go and do, eat, watch, see, whatever, any suggestions are really welcome. So I will be spending 1 week in New York. I will not be reading for that week, but then the rest of the month and the rest of August, I will be completely free to read whatever I want. So for August, I have planned 8 books. That sounds like a lot. It sounds like a very ambitious TBR, and it is. But, I'm just gonna try. I'm gonna try to do my best. And something that I think is also really important for me when it comes to making TBRs is to not view TBRs, to not think of TBRs as a challenge, because I think that's something that a lot of people do, and it's something that kind of puts you in a negative mindset, in a very competitive mindset, like you're competing against yourself or something, which is not good. I don't like that. So I don't like to think of TBRs as a challenge. I like to see TBRs as options, a set of options that if you want to take them, go ahead and take them. So I have given myself 8 options to choose from during the month of July, and I have mixed a lot of different genres, a lot of different formats, different styles, different things. I have a great combination of fiction, nonfiction, essays, fantasy, historical fiction, literary fiction, magical realism, a lot of things. So, very briefly, Golden Hill by Francis Pufford. It's supposed to be great. It's supposed to be really immersive and well written. It is historical fiction set in New York. Then we have The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. This is the second part of the trilogy by Tolkien. And of course, this is fantasy. And I read the first book in the series like 3 or 4 months ago, and I really liked it. So it's time to continue. Then I have The Little Friend by Donna Tartt. This is literary fiction. It is the longest book in my TBR for July. It is supposed to be dense and slow, and kind of some people have found it underwhelming, especially when compared to Donna Tartt's other novels, The Secret History and The Goldfinch, which I have read and enjoyed greatly. So I am hoping that I will not be underwhelmed by this. And also, it's a book that I've been trying to read for the entire year of 2018, and I just haven't had the time to really dedicate to it. Then I have If on a Winter's Night, a Traveler by Italo Calvino. I don't really know what this is. I just know this has been really recommended to me because I love authors who are really playful and who can kind of create gimmicky narratives, and I've been recommended this many times, and it's supposed to be really entertaining and kind of magical realism, and I've heard people compare him to Michael Ende. So then I have the Bookshop book by Jen Campbell. This is nonfiction. You know what this is. You know who she is. If you don't, then I am ashamed of you. Then I have Stoner by John Williams, not the composer of, John Williams, the famous composer who has made the soundtrack to your life, probably. Da, 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 da. Well, not that John Williams. This is another John Williams. I was not aware of his existence, but apparently this book is a book that people claim to be one of their favorite books. I mean, it's just incredible. I've heard a lot of people answer with this book when they are asked, what's your favorite book? And a lot of people come up with this. So I need to know what's the buzz, what's the secret. Then I have a collection of essays on film criticism and film. These are kind of film reviews, essays kind of thing. I love learning about films and how films are made, and also I really enjoy listening to film critics review movies. It's just something that I really love. And this is a Mexican reviewer, a Mexican film critic, Fernanda Solorzano. She has a great channel on YouTube, Cine Aparte, and she reviews movies in a whole other level. I just completely worship her. I think she is so clever and so friendly and human and accessible and kind and warm, and I love her. And this is her new book on kind of the stories. Well, it's just about film criticism. And this is only available in Spanish. Misterios de la Sala Oscura, Ensayo sobre el Cine y su Tiempo. So I'm really excited to read something about a topic that I am so passionate about. And finally, I have this wonderful treasure, In Cold Blood by Truman Capote. And I swear, this copy feels as old as time. Tale as old as time. Well, my larynx is kind of high. Anyway, this copy seems and smells and looks as old as America. It's a very battered, torn, damaged copy. It's actually, kind of falling apart. But it's great. It's so cool. I love having this in my shelf, and I got it for like $3 in an independent used bookstore in Chicago, Open Books, which is one of the best bookstores that I've ever been to. So yeah, Truman Capote's In Cold Blood. So guys, let me know, what are you going to read in July? What do you think of making TBRs? What's your whole take on this debate of, whether TBRs are helpful or not? Are they useful, or do they get in the way of reading for pleasure? Let me know. And also, if you have any ideas, suggestions, recommendations for New York, let me know.